everyone, I'm Jess here at Three Treasures Health and Wellness in Bethel Park, PA. Thank you so much for joining me on your mat. And today we're going to get started by coming to a comfortable seat. Cross-legged is what I would recommend. But if for some reason that doesn't work well in your body, you can take any seat where your sits bones are rooted to the ground. If you have a block, I'm sitting on a block right now, you can use a block at home too. So start by coming into this comfortable seat. If there's any little fidgets or movements you would like to take before we get started, do that now. Start by rolling your shoulders down and away from your ears. So think 3 big shoulder rolls backwards and then reverse your circles. So nice, slow, controlled, full range of movement here. And then start to settle in. From here, start to become aware of your breath. No need to rush to change it. Start to check in and notice it for what it is. Oftentimes, as we go throughout our day, we are never paying attention to our vital life force, our pranayama. So use this space on your mat to really focus on that. So from here, maybe you soften your gaze or close your eyes. Start to bring your inhales and your exhales in and out only through your nose. Find a gentle constriction at the back of the throat. Allow your breath to become more audible. You can even place a hand at your belly to help you check in and make sure you're filling up all the way in through your nose. Let your diaphragm expand. Belly empties out. Really full breath here. Let this be your guiding force of your practice. And if at any point you need to come out and take a break to check back in on your breath, do so. We're going to start finding a little movement right here in this seated position tonight. So start by taking your right arm up to the sky. Left arm can come out to the side. Start to take your right arm and swivel that underneath, finding eagle arms here. So your palms will be pressing in. You're going to lift up. So as you lift up, start to think about opening up through your shoulders. It's early in your practice here today. That's okay. And then if that doesn't feel good in your body, you always have the option to bring your hands to your shoulders and work from here and then see if you can lift up a little bit higher. But if you're taking the bind and you want these early eagle arms, start to lift up to the sky or the ceiling above you. And then slowly start to exhale and come back through. So what we're doing here is we're finding on our inhale a cow motion. And then on an exhale, we find a cat pose. One more time here. Inhale, lift up. And then exhale, fold forward. Slowly unravel. Reach both arms up to the sky here. Take your palms together. Flip them up to the sky. Lift up. We'll find length throughout your arms. Maybe you take your gaze up with you. And then slowly open them up. Back down to the sides. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So this time your left arm is going to reach up, engage, and then your right arm comes out. Think about that shoulder tension though. If they're hiking up, relax them down. Swivel those arms around. Try to find the bind. You may find you're a little more open on this side. If you are, you can explore that pose. As you prepare to lift up into this, think of the action of lifting your arms and your shoulders up and away from your body, and then slowly start to tip back on your inhale. Finding that cow pose, and then on your exhale, round your spine. Pull it in here. Inhale, lift up again. Reach, and then exhale, fold forward. One more time, lift up nice and tall. Baby back bend, and then exhale, we round. If you feel you want one more, go ahead and take that on this side. And then slowly start to unravel. Again, arms sweep up to the sky. Clasp at your palms. Flip them up to the sky here. Really reach. Again, notice, become aware of your shoulders. Take your gaze up to follow. And then slowly release your arms back down to the ground. If you have a block or something underneath of you, you can remove that now. We're going to make our way into our very first child's pose. So big toes come together to touch, and then slowly start to melt forward onto your mats. Forehead can come to rest here. Now again, if you do have a block, if you've invested in a block at home, one option is you can place that block under your forehead just to find a little space. So explore that. It's always good to mix up these poses, especially a pose like child's pose. It's one that we use often, so to get a different perspective, a different feel. Another way to take variations of this is maybe you take your legs out a little bit wider. If you're working on hip flexibility, you can come into a wider child's pose. It's also a good frog pose prep if that's something you're working on. Or one last thing to try at home. If you find that if you're hiked up a little bit, you can't get close to your heels, I would suggest pulling your knees in closer together, lifting up, and then coming forward. That way your knees can actually support your chest here and your forehead can come down. You're still getting a nice deep stretch too through the back of the hips there. So find the creativity, find different ways to explore those poses. So settle in here, maybe rock your forehead side to side. Stay for 3 more rounds of breath. Taking that inhale in through your nose and sighing it out your mouth. 2 more here at your own pace. Beautiful. Now slowly start to lift up. Find your very first tabletop of the day. Check in with your alignment here. You want your wrists tracking under your shoulders. And start to think of the action of spinning the creases of your elbows forward. You can see me moving that here just so you guys can see that at home. That's the action you want. We want to zip up and have those face forward. And then spread your fingers wide onto your mat. You have options with your feet. Some days it might feel really good to have the tops of your feet pressing into the mat below you. Or if you'd like, you can tuck your toes. Either or is fine in your tabletop pose. From here, we're going to inhale, pull our chest forward. Find a cow pose here. Look up to the sky. And then on your exhale, round. Press the mat away. So your lower spine and the upper part of your back round forward. Inhale, pull forward, heart comes through. Look up to the sky. So here you have a nice arch in your spine. Exhale, round. See if you can go a little deeper in each of these each time you go as you start to wake up through your body. 2 more here. Inhale, pull forward. Cow pose. Exhale, round. Press the ground away. For cat, last one. Inhale, we pull forward. Exhale, we round. From here, come back through your tabletop. Take your right foot out behind you. Start to rock forward up onto the ball of your foot. And then start to press through your heels. Waking up, finding a nice deep calf stretch here. From here, slowly start to lift your leg up to hip height. Start to crawl your fingers out in front of you. Lift them up to the sky. Find a spinal balance here. And hold. And again, really flex through your back foot here. On your next exhale, we pull in and curl. Inhale, find length, go long. Exhale, curl it in, round through your spine. One more here. Inhale, find length, go nice, long, flex through your foot. Set your hand back down. Now bend your foot so your foot is flexed and start to find a pulse here. So really flex your foot, pulse up to the sky. We're going to activate through our glutes. So for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently extend your leg long behind you and then bring it back in, tabletop. Move around here, check in on your knees. Make sure that that weight has not shifted too much. Maybe you lift up through your palms. Rinse that out here with an inhale, cow pose. Exhale, round. Inhale, we look all the way up. Exhale, round. From here, left leg goes long, keeping your foot connected through the ball of your foot to the ground. Start to find that nice deep calf stretch. Nice little warm up here. And find those pulses. And then as you're ready, start to lift that back leg up. Hip height, flex through your foot. Check in on your breath. And start to crawl the opposite hand out in front of you. You can stay right here on fingertips, or you can lift your thumb up to the sky for a spinal balance and hold. Stay for a nice deep breath in. Find a little length if you can. Then exhale, curl it in, knee to elbow, round your spine. Inhale, find length. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, curl. Last one here. Inhale, reach out nice and long and hold. Stay for a breath. Gently set it down. From here, flex your left leg and start to pulse up. Almost imagine you're stamping the sole of your foot onto the ceiling or the sky above you. Pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently start to extend and then release all the way back down onto the mat. Now check back in on your wrists. So bring your focus back up to your hands. See if you can take your hands and reposition them so that your fingertips go towards the back of the mat. If there's any wrist pain, by all means come out of that. But if it feels good, just stretch out your wrists nice and gently. Just slow little movements back and forth. But again, only if that feels good. Come back through. Last time, inhale, pull forward for a cow pose. Exhale, round your spine. Find your cat. From here, slowly start to make your way back. Big toes come together to touch. Take your knees out wide. But before we lower down, reach up to the sky. Right hand is going to grab. So you're in this wide leg prep for another child's pose, but I want to stretch out our arms again. So arms reach up. Take your right hand, grab your left wrist. Gently pull it over to the side. So we're going to stretch through our side body here. Maybe you take your gaze up above you, creating some space. Breathe into that stretch. Beautiful. Come back through center. Reach up. Slowly reach for the opposite wrist. Same thing, opposite side. But get into that nice and slow. Take your time. Find that expansion. Maybe you take your gaze up. And then release back down. From here, you can go ahead and sneak back into a child's pose. After a little warm up, use this time to check back in on your breath. Another option to roll out your forehead side to side. Stay for a nice deep breath in and a big exhale out. From here, slowly start to pull forward, come through your tabletop, and then start to hike your hips up and back, finding your very first downward facing dog. Start to pedal out your feet here. Really bend into it. Nice deep bend, one knee at a time. Now take a peek up at your hands. Take your gaze there. Make sure that, again, all of your fingers are spread out nice and wide on your mat. I want you to really think about the space between your index finger and your thumb. Stay for a deep breath in. Now see if you can find some stillness in your downward facing dog and try to get your heels a little closer down onto your mat. They do not have to touch. But if they can, the other challenge is see if you can lift your toes up off of the floor. Another deep breath in and a deep breath out. From here, slowly start to lift your right leg up to the sky, flex through your foot. On your inhale, start to pull forward, cross it over through your left leg, And then take a figure 4 action here, flexing through your foot. Getting in the nice little hip opener. Stay for another deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Slowly unravel, right leg goes back up. Nice and tall, flex through your foot. See if your left heel can come closer onto the mat. Gently set it down. Reset, pedal out your feet. I'm going to switch. Check back in on your breath here. And then from your downward facing dog, this time your left leg goes long. Flex your foot behind you. And then slowly start to pull forward, but crisscross over, sink it back for a figure 4 downward facing dog. Stay for a breath. Let your hips melt open. One more inhale here. And an exhale, slowly extend your leg back up and long, and then gently set it back onto the mat. Pedal out your feet. And from here, slowly start to rock up onto your tiptoes. Bend your knees. Step forward, come to the top of your mat. From here, slowly start to open your feet up nice and wide. Take your peace fingers and reach for your big toe. This is one of my favorite forward folds. You can really start to release a lot of hidden tension throughout your back. So what you want to do here is start to open up so your elbows come out to the sides and then your head hangs heavy. So your feet are a little bit more open, maybe a little bit wider than hips width, but they don't have to be super wide to get the full benefits of this forward fold. Bend your knees here, again, more than you think you should. Try to almost rest your chest and your belly onto your knees. Shake your head out, yes and no. And check back in on your breath. Sometimes it takes a little bit to release that tension that we're holding on to. So just be gentle with yourself. Slowly release the bind from your toes. Wiggle walk your feet back into center, hips width distance. Bring your hands to your shins. Start to press away and think of rolling your shoulders again away from your ears. Gaze is down at the ground below you. Halfway lift. Slowly fold again. Just release back into that. This time, inhale, arms sweep up to the sky, finding length. Reach up nice and tall. Take your gaze up. Exhale, hands come to heart center and open by your side for mountain pose. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Reach long. So we're going at a slower pace here today. Fold forward. But when we're going slower, it gives us the opportunity to really light up all of the different muscle groups. So here again, take your halfway lift. Go nice and slow, but really engage here. And then exhale, fold. This time, let's take our fold a little deeper. So option to take your arms behind your legs. Let your head hang heavy. Get deeper into the backs of the legs. You should feel that all the way up from the calves, through the back of the thighs. Slowly release. Inhale, halfway lift. And then this time, plant your hands, step it back. Find a high plank here. So really start to press the mat away, lower your hips, and then think of this action of pressing through your heels. Light up the energy, like I said, through the back of the heels. We're going to explore this a little bit. So from this high plank, really engage through your core. Start to inhale and then rock forward up onto your tiptoes. Exhale, shoot it back. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, shoot it back. 2 more. Inhale, pull forward with control. Exhale, heels press back. This is your last one. Inhale, we pull forward. Exhale, press it back. Beautiful. Drop onto your knees. Try to lift your feet up off of the mat below you. And then slowly start to bring your knees, chest, and chin all the way down onto the mat. Bring your feet down. They can follow you. Your hands are positioned here perfectly for a baby cobra pose. So again, really think of this action of moving, pulling those elbows back behind you, lifting up through your chest. This small little movement. Also here, even though we're not lifting our legs up off of the ground, there should be a little lift through the back of your legs here for the most engagement. Stay for another deep breath in. It's harder than it looks. And then slowly start to press back. Come through, find your child's pose. We're not staying long. Just check in, notice your breath. On your next inhale, start to lift up, come back through, find your downward facing dog. Inhale, we rise to toes, bend your knees, walk or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, slowly, one vertebrae at a time, start to lift up. Find your mountain pose. Roll your shoulders down your back. Start to engage here. Check back in on your breath. And from here, we are going to find a toe pose. So first start by bringing your right knee up to hip height. Cultivate your breath. You can stay right here if this already feels like a challenge today. If you want more, you can bring your hands around your shin. Find your dristi, or a focus point, something that you can stare at right now that is not moving. And then if you want even more, try to reach for your big toe. Peace fingers can come to grab. Maybe you take your left arm to your left hip, and then slowly see if you can start to open it up. Your leg doesn't have to be all the way straight. You can add a little bend in it if you would like. Or you can try to work on flexibility too. Stay for a nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. If you want, you can explore by opening up to the side, always bringing it in, and then seeing where your balance is today. For even more, you can lift your left arm up to the sky. Slowly come back through and just kind of testing the waters. Maybe you come back to the original starting point of our toe pose. Come all the way back in and then gently set it down. Very nice. So shake that out. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. From here, inhale, halfway lift again. This time, plant your hands. Again, step it back. Find that high plank. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, press it back. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, we push back. Up again, come all the way up onto your toes. Hold just a little bit longer here. Exhale, press it back. This will help us as we build our chaturangas later in our practice. Exhale, press it back. Beautiful. From here, inhale, pull forward. Option to drop onto your knees or stay lifted and find your low plank and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come through. Find your cobra or your upward facing dog. If you're taking your upward facing dog, your hips are going to lift up off of the floor. Tops of your feet are pressing into the mat. Exhale, press it back. Downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet here. Check in on your breath. Inhale, rise to toes, bend your knees, walk or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, fold. Slowly lift up again, one vertebrae at a time. No rush. Once you get to the top, roll your shoulders down and away. Inhale, arms reach up, little stretch here, and then exhale, come through heart center. Open by your sides, landing in mountain pose. Nice job. So from here, start to come into your marcher's pose. Again, always an option to stay right here and work on your balance. If you want more, you can start to make your way towards your big toe. Maybe you extend out long in front of you. Stay for a nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. If you want more, you can start to find some movement by opening up. Opposite hand can come to opposite waist. And then maybe you lift your arm up to play with that balance. You should feel this in your standing leg. One more nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. Slowly come back through center. However you get there, start to pull your knee in and then release it back down onto the earth. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, we fold. From here, maybe you pedal out your feet. Inhale, halfway lift again. Exhale, fold. This time, step it back, find your high plank. Now come through your chaturanga, so that's our high plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Then on your exhale, press it back, downward facing dog. So when you're in a yoga class and they say take your chaturanga, that's what they mean. It's that high plank to low plank. Inhale, rise to toes, bend your knees, walk or hop to the top of your mat. Let's rinse that out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep up, reach up, and then exhale, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift again. Really working on that action. Another way to deepen your halfway lift is you can bring your hands to the mat and pull your heart forward this way. Another, just a different way to explore. You can come onto your palms. Whatever helps you get a little deeper. Step it back, high plank, or again, option to drop to your knees. Come to low plank and hold. And then as you're ready, lift up, cobra or upward facing dog. You can always take different variations. Exhale, press it back, downward facing dog. From here, inhale, rise to your toes, bend your knees, and then just walk or hop, finding an easy seat on your mat. From here, start to take your legs out wide for a wide leg stretch. Inhale, lift up through the crown of your head. Slowly start to melt on into your mat. You can stay right here, just opening up through our legs, or you can start to explore a little bit further. Again, if you have a block, options to play with that. You bring a block out, put your head down, maybe you take your arms out lower with that little bit of stability. Be a nice way to really get into a nice stretch here. Take your time. Check back in on your breath. One more nice deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Slowly, one leg at a time, come back through center. And we come back into an easy seat, very similar to the way we started class. Close down the eyes if you can, or soften the gaze. Notice the body heat that you generated here on your mat today, even going at a slower pace. Like I said, if you're working and engaging every muscle of your body through this yoga practice, it's really incredible how strong you can become. I'm Jess here at Three Treasures Health and Wellness, and I thank you so much for joining me here on your mat today.